Her gorgeous sister came to me late at night and said, "Your wife is seeing my husband. I have a plan. Are you in?" But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up 3 weeks. I'm a municipal code enforcement inspector in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Not glamorous. I check building permits, measure fence heights, cite people for overgrown lawns. My wife Jennifer thinks it's beneath me. She never says it directly, but I hear it in the way she introduces me at parties. "This is my husband, Tom. He works for the city." Always a pause before that last part. Always a slight downturn in her voice. We were at the Andersons' barbecue when I first noticed the texts. Jennifer kept checking her phone, smiling at the screen in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. When I asked who it was, she said, "Just Rachel," without looking up. Rachel is her best friend from college. They text constantly. Nothing unusual there. Except Rachel was standing 15 feet away, phone in her back pocket, laughing at something Bill Anderson said about his boat. I didn't say anything. I filed it away. That's what I do. I'm a filer, an observer. People underestimate that about me. They see the clipboard, the khaki pants, the safety vest, and they think I'm not paying attention. But my job is literally to notice what doesn't fit. The deck that's 2 feet over the property line. The business operating without proper signage permits. The details everyone else misses. Jennifer had been working late a lot. 3 times a week, sometimes 4. She's in pharmaceutical sales, makes good money, better than mine. The late nights started about 4 months ago, always Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes Wednesdays. "Client dinners," she'd say. "You know how it is." I didn't know how it is. My job ends at 5. I come home, make dinner, watch Jennifer arrive at 8:30, smelling like wine and expensive restaurants I've never been to. Our anniversary was coming up. 15 years. She'd mentioned it exactly once, in passing, while brushing her teeth. "The 20th is our anniversary," she said around her toothbrush. "We should probably do something?" Probably. Should. The enthusiasm was overwhelming. I was sitting at the kitchen table on a Tuesday night, one of her late nights, eating leftover casserole and reading the newspaper when I heard her car in the driveway. It was only 7:15, early for her. She came through the door looking flustered, checking her phone. "You're home early," I said. "Dinner got canceled." She kicked off her heels. "Client emergency. Rescheduled for tomorrow." "That's unfortunate." "Yeah." She was still looking at her phone, frowning. "I'm going to take a shower." She went upstairs. I heard the water running. I looked at her purse on the counter, then at the stairs, then back at her purse. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not even particularly suspicious by nature, but I am thorough. Her phone was in the side pocket. No password. She'd always said she had nothing to hide. I opened her messages. The most recent was from a contact labeled Kevin M. The preview showed, "Tomorrow then, same place." I clicked it open. The conversation went back weeks, months. Nothing explicit, but the tone was wrong, too familiar, too intimate. "Can't wait to see you. Thinking about last night. You're incredible." I scrolled back further. Dinner locations, hotel names, though never stated directly. Just the usual place and room 412. I heard the shower turn off upstairs. I put the phone back exactly where I'd found it, returned to my casserole, picked up the newspaper. When Jennifer came downstairs in her bathrobe, hair wrapped in a towel, I was reading about the city council's new parking ordinance. "Anything interesting?" she asked, opening the refrigerator. "Just the usual bureaucratic nonsense," I said. She poured herself a glass of wine. "I'm going to bed early. Tomorrow's going to be long." "Sleep well," I said. She kissed the top of my head absently and went upstairs. I sat there for another hour, not reading, just thinking, processing, filing away information. Kevin M. I knew exactly one Kevin in our social circle. Kevin Fletcher, married to Jennifer's sister, Diane. Diane and Jennifer had always been close, despite being complete opposites. Jennifer was the successful one, the polished one, always perfectly put together. Diane was softer, quieter, more genuine. She worked as a nurse at Mercy Hospital, kept a garden, baked bread from scratch. Her husband, Kevin, was a commercial real estate broker, drove a BMW, wore expensive suits, talked loudly about his deals. I'd never liked Kevin. He had that aggressive handshake, that way of standing too close, of assuming everyone wanted to hear his opinion. At family gatherings, he'd corner me and ask about city work, in a tone that suggested he was doing charity by acknowledging my existence. Jennifer had always defended him. He's just confident, Tom. You could learn something from him. Now I understood why. Over the next 2 weeks I watched. I didn't confront, I didn't accuse. I watched. Tuesday night, Jennifer left for her client dinner at 6:30. I followed her. Not closely, but carefully. She drove to the Marriott downtown, parked in the garage, walked in through the lobby entrance. I drove home. Thursday night, same thing, different hotel, the Hampton Inn on Collins Boulevard. I started documenting times, locations, patterns. I took photos of her car in hotel parking garages. I kept a log in a small notebook I stored behind the cleaning supplies under the kitchen sink, a place Jennifer would never look. Our anniversary was 12 days away. Jennifer had made reservations at Tuscany, the Italian place on 5th Street, the expensive one. She'd told me about it with the same enthusiasm someone might show for a dental appointment. I made reservations for the 20th, she said over breakfast. 7 o'clock, don't be late. Wouldn't dream of it, I said. She was buttering toast, not looking at me. We should probably exchange gifts there. Keep it simple. Simple. 15 years deserved simple. That night, after Jennifer went to bed, I sat in the dark living room thinking about Kevin Fletcher, about his BMW and his suits and his aggressive handshake, about the way he'd probably smiled when Jennifer texted him, about the hotels and the dinners and the lies. I thought about what I could do, what I should do. Divorce seemed obvious, but divorce would be messy, expensive, public. Jennifer would hire a lawyer, play victim, take half of everything despite being the one who'd betrayed 15 years of marriage. I didn't want half. I didn't want lawyers. I didn't want a mediator talking about equitable distribution and irreconcilable differences. I wanted something else entirely. I just hadn't figured out what yet. Then, at 11:40 on a Wednesday night, 9 days before our anniversary, someone knocked on the front door. Jennifer was asleep. I was in the kitchen, drinking water, running through tomorrow's inspection schedule in my head. The knock was soft, but insistent. I looked through the peephole. Diane stood on the porch, mascara streaked down her face, hands shaking. I opened the door. "Tom," she said, voice breaking. "We need to talk." I led her inside. She stood in the entryway, arms wrapped around herself, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Diane was usually composed, warm, the kind of person who made everyone feel comfortable. Now she looked shattered. "Is Jennifer home?" she whispered. "Asleep," I said. "What's wrong?" She laughed, sharp and bitter. "What's wrong? That's a good question, Tom." I guided her to the kitchen, poured her water. She sat at the table, staring at the glass without drinking. "Kevin's having an affair," she said finally. "With Jennifer." I didn't react. I'd known for 2 weeks, but Diane didn't know I knew, and I needed to hear what she had to say. "How long have you known?" I asked. "I found out 3 days ago." She wiped her eyes. "I work night shifts sometimes. Last Friday I came home early. Kevin was supposed to be in Des Moines for a conference, but his car was in the driveway. I went inside. He wasn't there. His suitcase was still packed. I called him. He said he was at the hotel in Des Moines, about to go to dinner." She took a shaky breath. I checked his credit card statements. No charges in Des Moines. But there were charges at the Marriott here, and the Hampton Inn, going back months. "Did you confront him?" "Not yet." She looked at me directly for the first time. I wanted to be sure. so I followed him. Last night, Tuesday, he said he had a late showing. I followed him to the Marriott. I waited in the parking garage. At 9:30 he came out. With Jennifer. She pulled out her phone, showed me a photo. Grainy, taken from distance, but clear enough. Kevin and Jennifer standing by his BMW, her hand on his arm, both smiling. "I'm sorry, Tom," Diane said. "I'm so sorry." I didn't know what to say. Sorry seemed inadequate. Sorry wouldn't undo 4 months of betrayal. Sorry wouldn't erase the lies, the late nights, the hotel rooms. "What are you going to do?" I asked. Diane's expression changed. The sadness hardened into something else, something cold. "I've been thinking about that," she said. "I could confront them, scream, cry, demand explanations, but they'd just lie, or worse, they'd admit it. And then what? Divorce? Splitting assets? Kevin gets to walk away with his dignity intact, probably convince everyone it was my fault somehow. So what's the alternative?" She leaned forward. "Your anniversary is next week, right?" "The 20th, Saturday." Jennifer made reservations at Tuscany. I know because she told me about it. Bragged about it, actually. Said it was the least you could do after 15 years. The least I could do. Of course she had. "Kevin told me he has a business dinner Saturday night," Diane continued. "Potential investor, can't miss it. Except there's no business dinner, Tom. He's going to be with Jennifer." "At Tuscany." "Exactly." Diane's hands were steady now. "Here's what I'm thinking. We let them have their anniversary dinner. We let them think they're safe. And then we destroy them." I studied her face. This wasn't grief talking. This was something calculated, planned. "How?" I asked. "Kevin's partner, Greg Hutchins, is very religious. Family values, church every Sunday, the whole thing. He's mentioned before that he'd never work with someone who betrayed their marriage. It's in their partnership agreement, actually. A morality clause. If Kevin's caught in an affair, Greg can dissolve the partnership and buy him out at a reduced rate." "You've read the partnership agreement?" "I'm married to a real estate broker, Tom. I read everything." She pulled out her phone again, scrolled through photos. "These are from their website. Client testimonials, company values, all about integrity, family, trust. Kevin built his reputation on this. If it comes out that he's been lying to his wife, to his clients, to his partner, he loses everything." "And Jennifer?" Diane's smile was sharp. "Jennifer's reputation is everything to her. She's on the board of the Women in Business Alliance. She chairs the hospital fundraiser committee. Everyone thinks she's perfect. Successful career, stable marriage, beautiful life. What happens when everyone finds out she's been sleeping with her sister's husband?" I thought about it. Jennifer at charity events, smiling for photos, networking with doctors and executives and city officials. Jennifer who cared desperately about what people thought, who curated her image like an art form. "Public exposure," I said. "Exactly. Not just divorce. Complete destruction of their carefully built lives." "How do we do that?" Diane sat back. "That's where you come in, Tom. I can get access to Kevin's schedule, his accounts, his files, but I need someone Kevin doesn't suspect. Someone who can move around without raising alarms. Someone who knows how to document violations." She gestured at me. "You literally do this for a living. You find problems, you document them, you build cases. That's all this is, building a case." I considered it. The logic was sound. The anger I'd been suppressing for 2 weeks stirred in my chest, cold and sharp. "What exactly are you proposing?" "We have 8 days, Diane said. 8 days to gather evidence, to set the trap, to make sure that when we expose them, there's no way out. No excuses, no explanations that hold up. Just irrefutable proof, delivered at exactly the right moment, in front of exactly the right people." "At the anniversary dinner." "Not just the dinner. I'm thinking bigger. The Women in Business Alliance Gala is the night before. Friday. Jennifer's supposed to give a speech about work-life balance and supporting your partner. Diane's voice dripped with contempt. I want her to give that speech knowing that in 24 hours, everyone in that room will know the truth. And Kevin? Kevin's hosting an open house Sunday afternoon. Big commercial property, lots of potential investors. Greg will be there. I want Greg to know before that open house. I want Kevin to watch his partnership dissolve in front of clients. It was methodical, brutal, precise. You've thought about this a lot, I said. For 3 days straight, I've thought about nothing else. Diane's eyes were dry now, focused. I'm not interested in reconciliation, Tom. I'm not interested in counseling or second chances. I want them to suffer the way they made us suffer. I want them to lose what matters most to them. And I want them to know we did it. The kitchen clock ticked. Upstairs, I heard Jennifer roll over in bed, the mattress creaking. Your wife is seeing my husband, Diane said quietly. I have a plan. Are you in? I thought about Jennifer's dismissive introduction at parties, about Kevin's aggressive handshake and condescending questions, about hotel rooms and lies and 15 years reduced to, we should probably do something. I smiled. Of course, I said. I'm in. Diane exhaled, relief and vindication crossing her face. Okay, first thing tomorrow, you need to verify the Marriott. I have dates and times. You get photos, receipts, if possible. Meanwhile, I'll access Kevin's email. He keeps everything on his laptop at home, and he's stupid enough to use the same password for everything. What's the password? She smiled grimly. Fletcher 2024, his last name and the year he thinks he'll make partner at the firm. Not exactly Fort Knox. Kevin's arrogant, not smart. He thinks he's untouchable. We spent the next hour planning. Diane had a notebook, similar to mine, I noticed, filled with dates, locations, patterns. She'd been watching Kevin the same way I'd been watching Jennifer. We compared notes, found overlaps, confirmed suspicions. Tuesday and Thursday nights, Diane said. Always those days. Kevin told me he had late showings. Jennifer told you client dinners. Same hotels, rotating between the Marriott, the Hampton Inn, and the courtyard by the river. Room 412 at the Marriott. Kevin mentioned it once by accident, said he'd left his briefcase in 412. Tried to play it off like it was a client meeting. Jennifer's texts mentioned that room number. Diane nodded. They're not even careful. They're so convinced they're clever, they've gotten sloppy. By the time Diane left, slipping out the front door at 1 a.m, we had a framework. I'd handle surveillance and documentation. Diane would handle digital evidence and access to Kevin's files. We'd coordinate through burner phones Diane would pick up tomorrow. Don't change anything at home, Diane warned at the door. Act normal. If Jennifer suspects anything, this falls apart. Same for you with Kevin. She nodded. 8 days, Tom. We have 8 days to make this perfect. I watched her drive away, then locked the door and went upstairs. Jennifer was asleep, curled on her side, phone charging on the nightstand. I got into bed quietly. She didn't stir. I lay there in the dark, mind racing through logistics, through possibilities, through the careful architecture of revenge. 8 days. I could work with that. The burner phone buzzed in my jacket pocket at exactly 8 the next morning. I was sitting in my truck outside a duplex on Morrison Avenue, about to cite the owner for an illegal fence extension. The text was from Diane. Got the emails, worse than I thought. Meet tonight? I typed back, where? Library, reference section, 6 p.m. I finished the fence inspection, documented the violation, left a notice. The homeowner came out yelling about property rights. I listened politely, explained the ordinance, gave him the appeals process information. He swore at me. I got in my truck and left. People always assume code enforcement inspectors enjoy being the bad guy. We don't. We're just following rules, documenting violations, maintaining standards. There's no emotion in it, just process. That's what this was now. Process. At home, Jennifer was in the kitchen drinking coffee, already dressed for work in a gray suit that probably cost more than my monthly paycheck. "Morning," she said, without looking up from her phone. "Morning. How'd you sleep?" "Fine. You?" "Fine." She grabbed her bag. "I'll be late tonight. District meeting." "Okay. Don't wait up." She kissed my cheek, routine, automatic, and left. I heard her car start, pull out of the driveway. I waited 5 minutes, then checked the tracker app I'd installed on her phone 2 days ago. Jennifer didn't know about it. The app was designed for parents monitoring teenage drivers, but it worked perfectly for monitoring unfaithful spouses. Her car was heading downtown, toward the office, presumably. I went to the garage, pulled out my old camera equipment from a box in the back, digital SLR, telephoto lens, tripod. I'd been into photography years ago, before Jennifer decided it was a waste of time. The equipment had been sitting unused for maybe 7 years. I cleaned the lens, checked the battery. Still worked. That night, I arrived at the library 10 minutes early. The reference section was nearly empty. Just an elderly man reading newspapers and a college student surrounded by textbooks. Diane appeared at 6 exactly, carrying a laptop bag. She sat across from me, pulled out a folder. "These are printouts," she said quietly. I forwarded everything to a separate email account Kevin doesn't know about, then printed hard copies. He'll never know I accessed it. The folder was thick. Dozens of emails between Kevin and Jennifer, going back 6 months. Nothing explicit, but the implications were clear. "Meet me at the usual place. Can't stop thinking about you. Next Thursday, I'll tell Diane I'm in Des Moines. Tom's working late. I'll be free after 7. I read through them methodically. Diane watched my face. "You're very calm," she said. "I'm processing." Most people would be angry. I am angry, but anger without control is useless. She nodded slowly. "That's why this will work. Kevin would have exploded by now. Started screaming, confronted everyone, made it messy. But you're not like that." "Neither are you." "No," she agreed. "I'm not." We reviewed the evidence. The emails established pattern and timeline. Diane had also found credit card statements showing charges at the hotels on the same nights Jennifer had claimed client dinners. "Kevin's been expensing some of these," Diane said, "claiming them as client entertainment. That's fraud. Greg will love that detail." "What about Jennifer's side?" "Her company credit card shows restaurant charges on nights she claimed to be with clients, but some of those restaurants are inside the hotels. That's going to be hard to explain." I pulled out my own documentation. Photos of Jennifer's car at the Marriott, timestamps, my log of her late nights cross-referenced with Kevin's business trips. "We need more," Diane said. "We need something irrefutable. Photos of them together inside a hotel, witnesses, something that removes any doubt." "The Marriott has security cameras in the lobby. Can you access those?" "Not legally, but I know someone who works security there. Jerry Millstone. We went to high school together. He owes me a favor from when I helped his kid with a permit issue." "Can you trust him?" "Jerry hates cheaters. His ex-wife left him for his best friend. If I explain the situation, he'll help." Diane leaned back. "Okay, get the footage. I'll keep monitoring Kevin's schedule. Tomorrow's Thursday. Jennifer has a client dinner, right?" "According to her calendar." "Kevin told me he has a showing at 6, which means they'll probably meet around 8. Marriott? Likely. That's their usual Thursday spot. Get there early, get photos. Jerry can pull the lobby footage for the timestamp." We spent another hour coordinating. Diane had created a timeline of events leading up to Saturday. Every piece needed to fit perfectly. The exposure couldn't be random or emotional. It had to be surgical. "Friday night is the gala," Diane reminded me. "Jennifer's speech is at 8:30. By then, I want Greg to have seen the evidence about Kevin. I want Greg angry, so he confronts Kevin before the weekend." "Why before?" "Because Kevin in panic mode will make mistakes. He'll try to do damage control, probably contact Jennifer, maybe get sloppy with his communications. That gives us more ammunition for Saturday. And Sunday? Sunday, the open house. By then, the whole thing will be public. Kevin's clients will know. His partner will know. Jennifer's professional network will know. They'll both be finished. It was elegant, really. A controlled demolition. I left the library at 7:30, drove to the Marriott, parked in the back lot. Jerry Millstone was working the security desk. I walked in through the side entrance, waved. "Tom Harper," Jerry said, grinning. "Long time." "Too long. You got a minute?" We went to the security office. I explained the situation, not everything, just enough. Jerry's smile faded. "Your wife's cheating?" "With her sister's husband." "Jesus, Tom, that's brutal. I need to prove it. Can you pull lobby footage from tonight, say, 7 to midnight?" Jerry considered this. "I could, but if you're planning something legal, you should probably—" "I'm not doing anything illegal. I just need proof for the divorce. Lawyer said photos and video help with settlements." It wasn't technically a lie. I might eventually get divorced. Probably. Jerry nodded. "Yeah, okay, I'll pull it. Give me a timestamp when they arrive, I'll isolate the relevant clips, burn it to a disk for you." "Thanks, Jerry." "Cheaters deserve what they get," he said. "My ex ruined me. Your wife wants to play games, she should face consequences." I stayed in the parking lot, camera ready. At 8:15, Jennifer's car pulled in. She parked, checked her makeup in the rearview mirror, walked toward the lobby entrance. 5 minutes later, Kevin's BMW arrived. He parked 3 spaces from Jennifer's car, climbed out, smoothed his suit, walked inside. I took photos of both cars, got the license plates, the timestamps, the positioning. Then I waited. At 11:20, they came out together, walking close, but not touching. Jennifer laughing at something Kevin said, both heading to their cars. I took 12 photos. Clear shots, well lit, identifiable. Kevin kissed Jennifer before she got in her car, quick, casual, like they'd done it 100 times. Photo number 13. Jennifer drove away first. Kevin followed 10 minutes later. I went back inside. Jerry had the footage queued up. 8:17, Jennifer entering the lobby. 8:22, Kevin entering. Both walking toward the elevators. Neither looking around, neither concerned about cameras. They're not even trying to hide it. "Can you burn this to disk?" "Give me 5 minutes." I walked out of the Marriott at midnight with digital photos and video evidence of my wife meeting her sister's husband at a hotel. Clear, time-stamped, irrefutable. Jennifer was home when I arrived, already in bed. I put the evidence in the lockbox I kept in the garage, behind old paint cans. The burner phone buzzed. Diane. "How'd it go?" "Got everything, photos and video." "Perfect. Tomorrow, we finalize the distribution plan." I deleted the texts, powered off the phone. 5 days until the anniversary. The pieces were falling into place. Friday morning, 3 days before the anniversary, I decided Kevin needed to understand he was being watched. Nothing direct, nothing threatening, just enough to make him paranoid. I followed Kevin to his office. Fletcher and Hutchins Real Estate occupied the 3rd floor of a building on Clayton Avenue. I parked across the street, watched Kevin pull into his reserved spot, grab his briefcase, head inside. At noon, he came out for lunch. Walked 2 blocks to a sandwich shop, ate at an outdoor table while checking his phone. I walked past him, didn't look at him, didn't slow down. Just walked past carrying coffee, looking like any other downtown professional on lunch break. Kevin glanced up, looked right at me, looked away. 5 minutes later, I walked past again. Different direction. This time carrying a newspaper. Kevin looked up again, frowned slightly, went back to his phone. 3rd time, I stood at the crosswalk directly in his line of sight, waiting for the light to change. Kevin stared at me for a solid 10 seconds. I could see the gears turning. Did he know me? Was it coincidence? The light changed. I crossed, didn't look back. At 1:15, Kevin returned to his office. I watched him through the window, third floor, corner office. He was on the phone, gesturing animatedly, probably talking to a client. Then he stood up, walked to the window, looked down at the street, looking for me. I was in my truck by then, parked 3 blocks away, but the seed was planted. That night, Diane called the burner phone. "Kevin's acting strange," she said. "Keeps checking the windows, looking over his shoulder. Did you do something?" "Just walked past him a few times at lunch. He's paranoid now. Snapped at me when I asked about his day." "Good. Paranoid people make mistakes. Be careful, Tom. If he suspects..." "He doesn't suspect anything specific. He just knows something's off. That's exactly where we want him." Saturday, I escalated. Kevin had a showing at a strip mall property on the south side. I knew because Diane had forwarded me his calendar. I arrived early, parked where I could watch the entrance. Kevin showed up at 10 along with 2 clients, a middle-aged couple in business casual. He walked them through the property, pointing at features, checking his tablet. I got out of my truck, walked across the parking lot, entered the Chinese restaurant 3 units down from the showing, ordered takeout, waited by the window. Kevin walked his clients out at 10:40, shook their hands. They left. Kevin stood by his car, checking his phone. I walked out of the restaurant carrying my takeout bag, walked directly past Kevin's BMW, made eye contact, nodded politely. Kevin's face went pale. "Tom," he said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" "Grabbing lunch. You?" "Showing a property, client interested in the empty retail space. Nice area for retail, good foot traffic." Kevin's smile was tight. "Yeah, listen, I should..." "How's Diane?" He froze. "What?" "Diane? Your wife? Jennifer's sister? How is she?" "She's fine. Good. Why?" I shrugged. "Just asking. Haven't seen you guys in a while? We should get together soon." "Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe next weekend, after our anniversary." Kevin's jaw tightened. "Right. Your anniversary. Jennifer mentioned that." "I'm sure she did." I smiled. "Well, I should get going. This food's getting cold. See you around, Kevin." I walked to my truck. Didn't look back, but I could feel him watching me. The burner phone buzzed 20 minutes later. "Diane, Kevin just called me asking if you knew about anything. What did you say to him?" "Nothing concrete, just made him aware I exist. He's freaking out. Told me he might cancel his business dinner tonight. Tonight's Jennifer's gala speech. He can't cancel. She'll be furious." Exactly what I told him. He's trapped. That evening I watched from my truck as Jennifer left for the Women in Business Alliance gala. She wore a navy dress, diamond earrings, her hair professionally styled. She'd spent 2 hours getting ready. "How do I look?" she'd asked. "Beautiful," I'd said honestly. She'd smiled, rare, genuine. "Thank you. Don't wait up. These things run late." "Good luck with your speech." "It's just a short thing about supporting your partner through career challenges." She'd laughed. "Ironic, right? You working your government job while I climb the corporate ladder?" "Hilarious," I'd said. Now I sat outside the convention center where the gala was being held. Watched Jennifer walk inside, confident, polished, completely unaware that in less than 24 hours, everything would collapse. The burner phone buzzed. "Diane. I just sent Greg the first email, anonymous account. Attached photos of Kevin and Jennifer at the Marriott, time-stamped, no explanation, just the photos. How will Greg react?" "He'll confront Kevin tomorrow, Sunday at the latest. I made sure the email looks like it came from a concerned third party, not from me. Kevin will panic. That's the point. Panicked Kevin will run to Jennifer. They'll have a conversation. Probably on the phone. Probably tomorrow. Which we'll record." "Which we'll record," Diane confirmed. Sunday morning, 2 days before the anniversary, Kevin's world started crumbling. Greg Hutchins called him at 7 in the morning. I know because Diane was listening from the bedroom while Kevin took the call in his study. She texted me updates in real time. Greg saw the photos, demanding explanation. Kevin's lying, says it's a misunderstanding. 5 minutes later, Greg's not buying it, threatening to dissolve the partnership. 10 minutes later, Kevin just called Jennifer, says they need to talk. Emergency. I was at home. Jennifer was still asleep. I made coffee, read the paper, waited. At 8:30, Jennifer's phone rang. She answered in the bedroom, voice groggy. I stood outside the door, listening. Kevin, slow down. What's wrong? Pause. What photos? Who sent them? Pause. Okay. Don't panic. We'll figure this out. Pause. No, Tom doesn't know anything. He's clueless. Clueless. There it was. I have to go to the anniversary dinner tonight. If I cancel, he'll get suspicious. Pause. After the dinner, we'll meet, figure out damage control. This isn't over, Kevin. We've been careful. She hung up. Came downstairs 10 minutes later, makeup covering the stress. Morning, she said brightly. Ready for our big anniversary dinner? Can't wait, I said. She poured coffee, hands steady. I was thinking we could exchange gifts at the restaurant. Keep it romantic. Sounds perfect. I got you something nice. I think you'll really like it. I got you something too, I said. Something you'll never forget. She smiled. I'm sure I'll love it. That afternoon, I met Diane at a park outside town. We sat at a picnic table reviewing the final plan. Tonight at the restaurant, Diane said. You'll confront her? In front of the other diners. Public, humiliating, no escape. Kevin will be at the open house tomorrow afternoon. Greg's going to confront him there, in front of clients. I've made sure Greg has all the evidence, emails, photos, credit card statements, everything. And after? Diane's expression hardened. After they lose everything, reputation, careers, dignity, everything they valued more than their marriages. No reconciliation. None. We sat in silence for a moment. The park was empty, just us and the sound of wind through trees. Are you ready? Diane asked. I've been ready for weeks. Tom, once you do this, there's no going back. Jennifer will hate you. Your marriage is over. My marriage was over the moment she chose hotel rooms over honesty. Diane nodded. Then let's finish this. I drove home. Jennifer was getting ready for dinner, humming in the bathroom. I put on a suit, dark gray, the one Jennifer had bought me for a wedding 2 years ago. She said I looked distinguished in it. Tonight I'd look distinguished while dismantling her entire life. The reservation was for 7. We arrived at 6:50. Tuscany was crowded. Saturday night, full tables, candlelight, soft music. The hostess seated us at a corner booth. Jennifer ordered wine, I ordered water. Not drinking? She asked. Want to remember tonight clearly, I said. She smiled. It's sweet that you're being sentimental. Sweet. Sure. We ordered food. Jennifer made small talk about work, about upcoming projects, about plans for the holidays. I nodded, responded appropriately, watched her perform. At 7:30, between the appetizer and main course, Jennifer reached into her purse. I got you something, she said, sliding a small box across the table. I opened it. Cufflinks. Silver, engraved with my initials. They're beautiful, I said. I thought you could wear them to important events. Job interviews, maybe. Job interviews, because my current job wasn't important enough. Thank you, I said. Your turn. I pulled out an envelope, placed it on the table between us. Jennifer opened it, expecting a card. Instead, she found photos. Kevin and her at the Marriott. Time-stamped. Clear, undeniable. Her face went white. Tom. 15 years, I said quietly. 15 years, Jennifer, and you threw it away for hotel rooms and lies. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. I have video footage, emails, credit card statements, text messages. I have everything. People at nearby tables were starting to notice. Jennifer's voice dropped to a desperate whisper. Please, not here. Let's go home. Talk about this privately. Why? So you can lie some more? Convince me I'm imagining things? That I'm crazy? Tom, please. I stood up, placed cash on the table for the meal. Happy anniversary, Jennifer. I walked out of the restaurant. Didn't look back. Heard her calling my name, but I kept walking. Got in my truck, drove away. The burner phone buzzed. Diane. Done? Done. How'd she react? Exactly how you'd expect. Denial, panic, desperation. Kevin's at home, pacing, drinking, checking his phone every 30 seconds. Greg's coming over tomorrow afternoon. It's happening, Tom. Good, I said. I drove to a hotel, not the Marriott, somewhere else entirely. Checked in for the night. Tomorrow, Kevin would face Greg. Jennifer would face her professional network. Both would realize that the life they'd built on lies was collapsing. But tonight, I sat in a quiet hotel room, alone, feeling nothing but cold satisfaction. The anniversary dinner was over. The real revenge was just beginning. Sunday morning. I woke up in the hotel room to 17 missed calls from Jennifer and 12 text messages ranging from apologetic to angry. We need to talk. This is a misunderstanding. You're overreacting. Answer your phone. Where are you? Tom, this is ridiculous. I deleted them, checked the burner phone. Diane had sent an update at 6 in the morning. Greg's meeting with Kevin at 2. The open house starts at 3. I'll be there. I texted back, keep me posted. I showered, checked out of the hotel, drove to a diner across town. Ordered breakfast, drank coffee, read the newspaper. Normal Sunday morning. Except nothing was normal anymore. At 1:30, the burner phone buzzed. Diane. Greg just arrived. Kevin looks terrible. Haven't slept, probably. This should be interesting. I waited, ate my eggs, drank more coffee. At 2:15, Greg showed Kevin everything. Kevin's trying to explain, but Greg's not having it. Partnership is over. Greg's buying him out, effective immediately. 2:30. Kevin tried to call Jennifer. She's not answering. He's panicking. 2:45. Open house is starting. Clients are arriving. Kevin's trying to act professional, but he keeps checking his phone. Greg told him to keep it together or leave. 3 o'clock. First client just asked Kevin if everything's okay. He looks like he's going to be sick. I paid for breakfast. Drove to the property where Kevin's open house was happening. Large commercial building, good location, expensive. The kind of deal Kevin would normally dominate. I parked down the street, watched people come and go, professionals, investors, business owners. At 3:20, I saw Greg Hutchins walk outside, phone to his ear. He looked furious, made aggressive gestures while talking. 3:30, Kevin came out, stood by his BMW, head in his hands. I got out of my truck, walked toward him. He saw me coming, froze. Tom, he said, look, I can explain. Explain what, Kevin? How you've been sleeping with my wife for 6 months? How you lied to your wife, your partner, your clients? It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. Kevin's face twisted. You don't understand. Jennifer and I, we have a connection. You and her, you're not right for each other. Anyone can see that. I laughed. Actually laughed. A connection. That's what you're calling it. She deserves someone who appreciates her ambition, her drive. You're just a city inspector, Tom. You clip coupons and check fence heights. She needs more than that. And you're more? A cheater who just lost his partnership? A liar who destroyed his marriage? Kevin's confidence cracked. Greg will calm down. This is temporary. I'll rebuild. With what money? Your partnership buyout is pennies compared to what you would have made. And who's going to work with you now? Everyone knows, Kevin. Greg's already spreading the word. Your reputation is finished. Jennifer and I can start over. Together. Jennifer's not answering your calls. Did you notice that? Kevin pulled out his phone, tried calling again. Straight to voicemail. She's protecting herself, I said. Distancing. You're toxic now, Kevin. The successful real estate broker who threw everything away for an affair. Jennifer's smart. She knows associating with you will destroy what's left of her career. You're lying. Am I? Call her again. See what happens. He tried. Voicemail. Kevin's hands were shaking now. What do you want, Tom? You want me to grovel? Apologize? I don't want anything from you. I just wanted you to know that I know. That I watched, documented, and waited for the perfect moment to ruin you. And it worked. I turned to walk away. Tom, wait. I didn't wait. Got in my truck, drove off, left Kevin standing in the parking lot, alone, destroyed. The burner phone buzzed. Diane. What did you say to him? The truth. He came back inside looking like a ghost. Greg kicked him out, told him to leave the open house immediately. Good. Where's Jennifer? No idea. She's not answering Kevin's calls. She's smarter than him. She knows she needs to disappear until things calm down. I drove home. Jennifer's car was in the driveway. I parked, went inside. She was sitting at the kitchen table, mascara streaked, eyes red. We need to talk, she said. I don't think we do. Tom, please, just listen. I put my keys on the counter, didn't sit down. It was a mistake, Jennifer said. A stupid, terrible mistake. Kevin pursued me, and I was weak, and it happened. But it's over now. I ended it. When? Yesterday, after you left the restaurant. I told Kevin we're done. Because you got caught. Because I realized what I was losing. You, our marriage, our life together. You didn't care about any of that when you were in hotel rooms with Kevin. She stood up. I know I hurt you. But we can work through this. Counseling, therapy, whatever it takes. You called me clueless. She stopped. What? On the phone with Kevin. You said I was clueless, that I didn't know anything. Jennifer's face fell. You were listening. I've been listening for weeks, Jennifer. Watching, documenting. While you lied to my face, I was building a case. A case? Tom, this isn't a city violation. This is our marriage. Our marriage ended the moment you chose someone else. She started crying. Real tears this time. Please, don't do this. I love you. No, you don't. You love what I represent, stability, safety, the dependable husband who doesn't ask questions. That's not true. It is true. You wanted the successful career, the exciting affair, and the stable home life. You wanted everything. Well, now you have nothing. Jennifer grabbed my arm. Tom, please, I'll do anything. Anything to fix this. I pulled away. It's too late. It's not too late. We can... The Women in Business Alliance received an anonymous email this morning. Photos of you and Kevin at the Marriott, your board colleagues, your professional network. They all saw it. Jennifer went pale. No, you didn't. I didn't have to. Diane sent it. Diane? She knows? Diane's known for a week. We've been working together. Jennifer staggered back, sat down hard. This was planned. You planned this. Every detail. But why? Why not just divorce me? Why destroy everything? I leaned against the counter. Because you didn't just cheat, Jennifer. You disrespected me for years, made me feel small, insignificant beneath you. You introduced me at parties like I was an embarrassment. You talked about my job like it was a joke. And then you slept with your sister's husband and called me clueless. Tom, so yes, I planned it. I waited for the perfect moment, and I made sure everyone saw who you really are. Jennifer was sobbing now. What happens now? You tell me. You're the one who threw away 15 years. I'll resign from the board, issue an apology, tell everyone it was a mistake. It won't help. Your reputation is destroyed. Kevin's partnership is dissolved. Both of you lost what mattered most to you. That was the point. She looked up at me, eyes desperate. You hate me that much? I don't hate you, Jennifer. I just stopped caring. I walked upstairs, packed a bag. Jennifer stayed in the kitchen, crying. When I came back down, she was on the phone with someone. Probably her mother. Probably spinning some version of events where she was the victim. I walked out the front door, put my bag in the truck. The burner phone buzzed. Diane. Kevin's been calling me nonstop, begging to talk. Should I answer? That's your call. I want him to suffer more. Then don't answer. What about you and Jennifer? I'm leaving. She can have the house. I don't want it. Where will you go? Somewhere she's not. I drove away from the house, watching it shrink in the rearview mirror. 15 years in that house. 15 years of marriage, of shared space, of building a life. All of it gone now. But I didn't feel sad. I felt lighter, unburdened. The revenge wasn't about anger anymore. It was about justice, about making sure people faced consequences for their choices. Jennifer chose Kevin. Kevin chose his ego. Both lost everything. I chose to walk away from the wreckage, and that felt like winning. Monday morning, I was sitting in a motel room on the edge of town when Diane called the burner phone. You need to see this, she said. See what? Check your email, the real one, not the burner. I opened my laptop, logged into my personal email. There were 47 new messages, most from people I hadn't heard from in years. Subject lines ranged from concerned to curious to gleeful. Is everything okay? Heard about Jennifer. Sorry for your loss. That last one was from Jennifer's mother. Loss. Like someone had passed on instead of just been exposed as a cheater. I opened the email from Diane's real account. She'd forwarded me a link to a private Facebook group called Cedar Rapids Professional Women. The post was from someone named Michelle Torres, time-stamped at 7 this morning. Disappointed to learn that our board member Jennifer Harper has been engaging in an extramarital affair with a married colleague. This behavior directly contradicts the values our organization stands for. I'm calling for her immediate resignation from all board positions. We cannot represent integrity while harboring someone who has none. The post had 63 comments. Most agreed with Michelle. A few defended Jennifer, calling for privacy and forgiveness. But the majority were scathing. I always thought she was too perfect. Guess we know why now. Feel terrible for her husband. He seemed like a genuinely nice guy. And with her sister's husband? That's next-level betrayal. I scrolled through, reading the systematic destruction of Jennifer's carefully built reputation. 15 years of networking, of cultivating professional relationships, of positioning herself as a success story, gone in one morning. My phone rang. Jennifer's number. I didn't answer. She called again, and again. On the fourth call, I answered. Tom, please, you have to help me. Help you with what? They're turning on me. Everyone. The board, my colleagues, people I've worked with for years. They want me to resign. Then resign. I can't. This job is everything I've worked for. You should have thought about that before, Kevin. This is your fault. You and Diane, you orchestrated this. We didn't make you cheat, Jennifer. We just made sure people found out. I have a career, a reputation. You're destroying my life. No, I said calmly. You destroyed your life. I'm just making sure you face the consequences. She was crying again. What do you want from me? What will it take for you to stop this? I don't want anything. This isn't about what I want anymore. Then what is it about? Accountability. I hung up. Blocked her number. The burner phone buzzed. Diane. Kevin tried to come to the house this morning. I had to threaten to call the authorities. He's unraveling. Where is he now? No idea. He's not answering his phone. His car's not at his office. Greg said he hasn't shown up to clear out his desk. He's running. From what? From everything. The failure, the humiliation, the consequences. That afternoon I went to the house to get more of my things. Jennifer's car wasn't there. Good. Inside, The place looked the same, but felt different. Empty, like a stage set after the performance ended. I packed clothes, documents, a few personal items, left everything else. Jennifer could have the furniture, the decorations, all the trappings of the life we'd built. As I was loading boxes into my truck, a car pulled up. Diane. She got out, looking exhausted. "How are you holding up?" she asked. "Fine. You?" "Kevin's missing. He's not at home, not at work, not answering his phone. His mother called me asking if I knew where he was." "What did you tell her?" "That he's probably with his mistress." She hung up on me. We stood in the driveway, two people whose lives had been upended by the same betrayal, now standing in the wreckage. "Do you regret it?" Diane asked. "The revenge, I mean." "No. Do you?" "No, but I didn't think it would feel like this." "Like what?" "Empty. I thought I'd feel vindicated. Instead, I just feel tired." I understood. Revenge was satisfying in theory. In practice, it was just exhausting. "What happens now?" Diane asked. "I don't know. Divorce proceedings, I guess. Starting over. Kevin's family is blaming me, says I drove him away. Let them blame you. You know the truth. The truth doesn't seem to matter much anymore." We talked for a few more minutes, then Diane left. I finished loading my truck, locked the house, drove away. That evening, I checked into a longer-term motel. Small room, kitchenette, basic furniture. It wasn't home, but it was quiet. The burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. "Hello? Tom Harper?" A woman's voice, professional, unfamiliar. "Yes. This is Detective Lisa Brennan with Cedar Rapids Police. I need to ask you some questions about Kevin Fletcher." My stomach dropped. "What about him?" "When's the last time you saw or spoke with Mr. Fletcher?" "Yesterday afternoon, at his open house event. Why?" "Mr. Fletcher's family filed a missing persons report. We're trying to establish a timeline." "What was the nature of your conversation yesterday?" I considered lying, decided against it. "We argued. About personal matters." "What kind of personal matters?" "He was having an affair with my wife. I confronted him about it." Silence on the other end. Then, "I see. How would you describe his state of mind during this confrontation?" "Agitated, defensive, upset." "Did he make any statements about harming himself?" "No, nothing like that." "Did he indicate where he might go or what he might do?" "No, Detective. We argued briefly, then I left. That's the last I saw him." "Okay. If he contacts you, please let us know immediately. We're concerned for his safety." She gave me a contact number, hung up. I sat there staring at the phone. Kevin was missing, possibly suicidal, and I'd been one of the last people to see him. The burner phone buzzed again. Diane. "Police just called me. Did they call you?" "Yeah." "Tom, if Kevin did something to himself..." "He didn't. He's too narcissistic. Probably just hiding out somewhere, licking his wounds." "I hope you're right." So did I. Tuesday morning brought more news. Kevin's BMW was found abandoned in a long-term parking lot at the Des Moines airport. No sign of Kevin. The police called again. More questions. Where had I been Monday evening? Did I have any knowledge of Kevin's travel plans? Had he mentioned Des Moines? I answered truthfully. I'd been at the motel. I had no idea where Kevin went. He hadn't mentioned travel. By Tuesday afternoon, the story had spread through Cedar Rapids. The real estate broker caught in an affair, now missing. His business partner had dissolved their partnership. His wife was devastated. The other woman, my wife, was in hiding. It was becoming a circus. I ignored it all. Stayed in the motel, went to work, came back, ate dinner alone, slept. Wednesday, Kevin resurfaced. He'd been in Chicago, apparently. Checked into a hotel under a fake name, sat in the room for 3 days, drinking and spiraling. His mother tracked him down through his credit card usage, convinced him to come home. The police closed the missing persons case. Kevin was alive, unharmed, just running from his problems. Diane called me that evening. He's back, looks terrible, lost weight, hasn't shaved, barely speaking. What's he saying? Nothing coherent, just keeps apologizing to his mother. Won't talk to me. Are you going to divorce him? Already filed. Lawyer says it'll be quick since he's not contesting anything. Jennifer hired a lawyer too, wants to discuss settlement. Are you going to fight her? No point. She can have the house, the savings, whatever. I just want it over. That's generous. It's not generosity, it's just acceptance. We hung up. I sat in the motel room, thinking about how quickly life could change. 4 weeks ago, I was in a marriage I thought was stable. Now I was living in a motel, my wife's reputation was destroyed, and her lover had nearly disappeared entirely. Revenge had worked. Jennifer and Kevin lost everything that mattered to them. But victory felt hollow. I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I was just done. Thursday afternoon, Jennifer showed up at the motel. I saw her car pull into the parking lot, watched her get out, walk toward my room. She knocked. I opened the door. "Can we talk?" she asked. "About what?" "About us. About what happens next." I let her in. She sat on the edge of the bed, hands folded in her lap. "I resigned from the board," she said, "and from 2 committees. My boss is transferring me to a different territory. Somewhere people don't know about this." "Where?" "Kansas City. I start in 2 weeks." "Good for you." "Tom, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I ruined everything, but I need you to know that I never meant to hurt you this badly." "What did you think would happen, Jennifer? Did you think I'd just never find out?" I don't know what I thought, that it would stay separate, that it wouldn't affect our marriage." "It was always going to affect our marriage." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, for all of it, for the lies, the disrespect, everything. I know. Can you ever forgive me?" I thought about it, really thought about it. "Maybe someday," I said, "but not now, and not in a way that brings us back together." "I understand." She stood up, moved toward the door, paused. "For what it's worth, you were always enough, Tom. I was just too stupid to see it." She left. I sat alone in the motel room, thinking about 15 years of marriage ending with an apology in a cheap motel. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't cinematic, it was just sad. But it was over. And that was enough. Friday, 6 days after the anniversary dinner, I drove to Kevin and Diane's house. Kevin's BMW was in the driveway. Diane had texted me that he was finally clearing out his things, moving to an apartment across town. I parked on the street, walked up to the front door, knocked. Kevin answered. He looked like a different person. Unshaven, hollow-eyed, 20 pounds lighter. The aggressive confidence was gone, replaced by something broken. "Tom," he said quietly, "what are you doing here?" "We need to talk." He stepped aside. I walked in. Diane was in the kitchen, packing dishes into boxes. She glanced at me, nodded, kept packing. Kevin and I went to the living room. Boxes everywhere, furniture already moved, the house half empty. "I'm sorry," Kevin said, "for everything. For Jennifer, for lying to Diane, for the affair, all of it. I was selfish and stupid, and I destroyed everything good in my life." "I know. So what do you want? To rub it in? To make sure I know how badly I messed up?" "No," I said. "I want to make sure you understand something." "What?" "You didn't just betray Diane. You didn't just ruin your business. You disrespected me, treated me like I was invisible, like I didn't matter." Kevin looked down. "I know. You called me a city inspector like it was an insult. You implied Jennifer deserved better. You made me feel small." "I was wrong." "Yes, you were. Because while you were busy being arrogant and careless, I was watching, learning, waiting for the right moment to make you pay." Kevin's hands were shaking. "What more do you want from me, Tom? I lost my partnership, my marriage, my reputation, I'm broke. My family won't speak to me. I'm moving into a studio apartment and driving for a rideshare service to pay rent. What else is there? I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at his BMW in the driveway. That car, I said. That ridiculous status symbol you drove around town, the one you parked at hotels while you were with my wife. I want you to sell it. What? Sell it. Today. Get whatever you can for it. Donate the money to a marriage counseling charity. Kevin's face twisted. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. That car represents everything you valued more than your marriage, your image, your success, your ego. I want it gone. Tom, that car is the only thing I have left that's worth anything. Exactly, which is why you're going to sell it. I need transportation. You'll figure it out. Take the bus, ride a bike, walk. I don't care. But that car goes today, or I make sure everyone in Cedar Rapids knows exactly how much debt you're in, how your credit's ruined, how you're barely surviving. Kevin stared at me. You're serious. Completely. And if I refuse? Then I keep making your life miserable, anonymously, persistently, until you have nothing left but regrets. Diane walked in from the kitchen. Tom's right, Kevin. That car is the last piece of your old life, the life where you thought you were better than everyone else. Sell it. Kevin looked between us, two people he'd betrayed, now united in taking away his last symbol of success. Fine, he said finally. I'll sell it. Today, I repeated. Today. I walked to the door, paused. One more thing. You're going to write a letter to Greg Hutchins, apologizing, taking full responsibility, acknowledging that you committed fraud by expensing personal hotel rooms as business expenses, and you're going to recommend he press charges if he wants to. Kevin's face went white. That's asking him to prosecute me. Yes, it is. Because what you did wasn't just unethical, it was illegal, and you need to face that. I could go to jail. You could, or Greg might show mercy. Either way, you write the letter, send it today, and let him decide. Kevin slumped onto the couch. You're destroying me. No, I'm making sure you face consequences. There's a difference. I left. Diane followed me outside. That was harsh, she said. It was necessary. He's already broken. Broken isn't the same as accountable. Diane nodded slowly. What about Jennifer? What about her? Are you going to make her do something similar? Jennifer's handling her consequences. Kansas City, career setback, social exile. That's enough. And you? I'm moving on. Diane smiled sadly. We did it, Tom. We got our revenge. Why doesn't it feel better? Because revenge isn't about feeling better. It's about justice. Sometimes justice just feels cold. She hugged me. Brief, awkward, but genuine. Thank you, she said, for standing with me through this. Thank you for giving me the chance to fight back. I got in my truck, drove away, watched Kevin and Diane's house disappear in the rearview mirror. That evening, Kevin posted the BMW for sale online. By midnight, he'd sold it to a dealer for half what it was worth. The next morning, Diane sent me a photo of a letter. Kevin's handwriting, addressed to Greg Hutchins, confessing everything. 2 days later, Greg filed a complaint with the State Real Estate Commission. Kevin's license was suspended pending investigation. Jennifer moved to Kansas City the following week. We signed divorce papers in a lawyer's office, split assets according to a settlement her lawyer drafted. She got the house. I got my freedom. The last time I saw her, she was loading boxes into a moving truck. Take care of yourself, Tom, she said. You too, Jennifer. She drove away. I went back to the motel, packed my own things, found an apartment near downtown. Started over. Weeks passed, then months. Life settled into a new rhythm. Work, quiet evenings, occasional dinners with Diane, who'd become an unexpected friend through all of this. Kevin moved to Omaha, started working in property management, divorced, alone, driving a 15-year-old sedan. Jennifer thrived in Kansas City, apparently. Diane heard through mutual friends that she'd been promoted, started dating someone new. Good for her. I didn't care anymore. The anger had burned out. The need for revenge had been satisfied. What remained was just a quiet acceptance of how things had turned out. I'd been the underdog, the unnoticed, underestimated husband with a boring job and a clipboard. But I'd been paying attention, filing away details, building a case. And when the moment came, I'd executed perfectly. Jennifer lost her reputation. Kevin lost everything. Both paid the price for their choices. That was enough. I didn't need them to suffer forever. I didn't need ongoing revenge. I just needed them to understand that actions have consequences, and people who think they're invisible are sometimes the most dangerous. 6 months after that anniversary dinner, the one that ended everything, I was sitting in my apartment, reading the newspaper, when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Tom, it's Kevin. I almost hung up. Instead, what do you want? I wanted to say thank you. For what? For making me face what I'd done. I've been in therapy, working through things, and I realized you were right. I needed consequences. I needed to lose everything to understand what I'd had. Okay. I know we'll never be friends. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I wanted you to know that what you did, it wasn't just revenge.